Ultimately have to vote on a plan. Congressman Peter Welch is a Democrat from Vermont. Congressman, thanks for your time. I know you got a busy day so far. Speaker Boehner, as you heard there, singing a happy tune, perhaps because the New York Times and Washington Post are reporting that despite the tough talk, we could be close to a deal. What are you hearing?
Well, we're hearing the same thing, but we don't know. I mean, one of the reasons there's such anxiety in rank and file in the Democratic and the Republican caucus is that this whole discussion has gone on at the highest levels with the president and leadership, and none of us know exactly what is in it. So I talked to my Republican colleagues, and of course, from their perspective, they're fearful that the cuts may not be enough or that there may be revenues. And of course, on the Democratic side, we're pushing hard to have a balanced approach where we think revenues very much have to be part of it, and Pentagon cuts have to be part of it.
Are you comfortable with the remoteness of those decisions being made from you?
Not at all. I mean, one of the dilemmas is that we put ourselves up against the wall by doing something we've really never done before in a serious way, and that is link these major policy questions on taxes and spending with the question of whether we raise the debt ceiling that's required in order for us to pay our bills. You know, Ronald Reagan, icon of the Republican Party and revered by many Democrats, was a tough fighter on taxes and spending, but he never linked debt ceiling and America's full faith and credit. That's what we're doing. So we're creating a real dangerous situation for America in this process.
Yeah, Congressman, we've got 12 days to go. So Speaker Boehner, as we played a couple times there, whistling, seemed very happy after meeting with 8 GOP freshmen. What do you make of that meeting in terms of what may have been happening there? Was he trying to rally some support, for instance?
Well, my clear sense is that Mr. Boehner knows that it is unacceptable for us to default on our debt. He knows we can't allow that to happen. But he has rank and file members who have said not only they'll vote no, they'll vote hell no. And I think what he's wanting to try to do is let his membership realize and appreciate how significant it would be if America defaulted. That would be a catastrophe.
An important person in this debate is Grover Norquist. What do you think he meant? We have 2 reports, one from the Washington Post and also what we played earlier right here on MSNBC on Jansen and Company.
Well, it was potentially a big deal as it was originally reported. In fact, Mr. Hoyer in our whip meeting this morning mentioned it. So if Mr. Norquist was taking a position that would be reasonable, that expiring tax cuts under existing law were not tax increases, that would obviously create a lot of breathing room for us, a lot of headroom.
A lot.
But my understanding is that he's gone back on that. And so revenues have to be part of it. And you know, when I talk candidly to many of my Republican colleagues, they understand that. They're worried about doing revenues and not getting the cuts. You know, there's always anxiety on that level of negotiation. But most folks understand that when we're spending at 22–23% of our GDP and we're collecting revenues lower than we were in the Eisenhower era at 15%, that just doesn't work.
Congressman, under the gun here, if not today, will we have a deal by Friday? What do you think?
Well, you know, honestly, I don't know, but here's what I do know. We have to have a deal. We cannot allow America to default. Whether you're Eric Cantor and think that we should have more tax cuts, or say Nancy Pelosi and we ought to put money into infrastructure spending, we default, interest rates go up 1%. That's $140 billion additional expense to the taxpayer. Everybody loses. We cannot allow this to happen.
All right, Congressman Peter Welch from Vermont, thank you for your time. And to break down where we go from here, let's go to NBC's Mike Vaccaro, who joined us live from the White House. We also have NBC's Luke